You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Today on the Game Marks podcast, we play Hulk Hogan's main event thanks to Mega Mark Bryan Barera. Will this game hold up today? Will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All this plus gaming news, Clash at the Feast, and an update on Gameboree 2021. Plug in and put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now. And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. My name is Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash, and today, WCW Worldwide Bryan Barera. I'm never buying another Bash and Brawler pin again. We are playing Hulk Hogan's main event for the Xbox Connect. Yeah, we don't hear that very often, huh?
Did we wrong him in some way? Were we rude to him when we had him on the podcast? Did we offend him in some way that he would make us play this game?
I'll say this. He put it up to a vote on his own page, and this is what the crowd picked. And I guess we could thank them for this, even though he's the one that put it out there to begin with. But
well, thank you to the WCW Worldwide community for making us play this game. But hey, listen, we love to hear from you guys. So leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen. And always, come on, please join in on the conversation on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod, and check out all of the cool content that we are putting out on our Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. Oh, John, how do we go from Fire Pro Wrestling D to Hulk Hogan's main event?
We wronged somewhere along. We wronged someone somewhere along the way.
What a roller coaster we are going from just the highest of highs last week to the lowest of lows this week. And not necessarily saying that the game itself is bad, but in my experience, and especially with this game, the opportunities that I have had to use the Kinect, boy, is that a piece of technology that just, like the PlayStation Eye, the Xbox Kinect, PlayStation Move, all of that can just... just put that in a trunk and put it in the back of the closet or the attic or the basement or wherever you keep those things that you want to forget about, and let's never open them again.
Yeah, but it's like we said last week with, say, the Dreamcast. It was a gateway, but it wasn't there yet because now we have all this VR stuff, and that's really what it was heading towards, right? I mean, they saw the Wii. They saw the success of the Wii. They're like, oh, this is cool, but what if we did this instead? And it just fell flat. But
So they pretty much looked at the Wii and said, hey, but what if wrestling?
But what if, yeah, which it probably would have been way better on the Wii. But let's not digress here. We're going to get into that later in our deep dive. Let's talk about Fire Pro Wrestling D. We both hit that big old play it forever. We like this game. I even went as far as saying, I didn't say this on the episode, I said this after the fact, that I would kind of rank this right under like World and Returns because it's almost at that level, but it's not there yet. But compared to the other ones we've played on, say, like Super Famicom or whatever, this one is definitely up there.
Oh, yeah. I almost feel like that's not even a fair comparison. It's just the series as a whole has just grown, comparing the Dreamcast version to Returns to World.
Well, you can because they're also similar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, but it's hard to compare this because like the differences, with the exception of the roster, like appearance wise and gameplay wise, like it's such there's changes obviously, but there's not as leaps and bounds of changes in terms of like if you're coming from the Famicom to Fire Pro Wrestling World, like that's a huge leap. But like I agree with what you're saying. Like this is up there. Fire Pro Wrestling D is up there with Returns, and World is one of like the more polished, better playing more rewarding experiences that you get from a Fire Pro Wrestling game.
Absolutely. I felt pretty good after it because you have the entrances, that Stone Cold music popped us, as well as some of the others, the different crowd shots. We skipped the entrances.
Those could have been
though.
sped up a little bit, though.
Yeah, we skipped the entrances. They were a little long. They were every single one of them was an Undertaker WrestleMania entrance, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The gameplay itself was pretty good.
But what do we got going on this week, man?
All right, so today we are dropping, with this show, you get the ad-free show if you're a Patreon member. Subscribe today, GameMarksPod.com/Patreon. Tuesday, you get the show notes, and you get Game Over at 7 p.m. where we are playing Showdown 64. Now, we hit a few snags last week. We promised this week is going to be a little better. We now know our limitations. We can't do a survival mode because you get 2 5-star wrestling-looking Brock Lesnar's in the ring that just don't move, and we don't want that.
That being said, I said that there was going to be like a little, every now and then we would update something that's happening with AKI Evolution, and I am in their Discord. If you're not a part of it, I highly recommend that you go and check it out because they give updates about the features that they want to put in there. And going back through the notes, I actually was able to share something that I found with John that just was super interesting that you otherwise wouldn't know, because most of the time you're going to be playing this game with someone, or at least me and John would be, but they've actually programmed in the AI to do and play differently. It reacts to who you're playing against. So the example that they used is if you're playing against Triple H and you're going against someone like if you're Triple H and you're going against Batista, you're going to be more of that brawler style where it's all about like striking and stuff like that. Like say if you went against like Mick Foley or Mankind, it's more of that like, brawler beatdown style, where if you're playing Triple H against maybe HBK or maybe someone like a more technical style wrestler, the gameplay of the AI actually will switch to kind of, I guess, like adjust itself to who you're playing against. And I just thought that was something that, like, for an N64 game,
yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know.
It's crazy to think that that's something that's possible.
I got to think that it's somewhere, where you select like brawler, technical, high flyer. They did something in there.
They probably just made it more, because usually that applies to your stance, but I would imagine that they probably applied that also to reversing styles and grapple styles.
Yeah,
for
something's
the AI.
gotta be there.
Again, if you're playing and it's you and your friend, you guys can play however you want. But if you're playing against the computer, there's a whole other world that you can experience here with how the games themselves are being played. And I just thought that was a cool little detail that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, that blew my mind when you told me. But anyway, that was Tuesday night. You get GMP Game Over on Patreon. Now Wednesday, Future Endeavored on Patreon, where we go back and we play the games that we Future Endeavored. I played WWF WrestleMania for the DOS, and I had a terrible time. George, you're playing that again this week, and we'll follow that up with Wednesday night's main event with George Feis on twitch.tv/GameMarksPod. That's around 8 p.m. on Twitch. And Thursday, you will get Day of Reckoning on YouTube. Now, we're going to be a week behind. You're going to get episode 7 because last week, there's just a lot going on. We weren't able to get that next episode out, but we're going to resume next week. We only have a few more left before we finish the story, and then I don't know, maybe you'll take a turn. Maybe I'll start Day of Reckoning too. We'll see what happens.
I still really like that idea of us doing the joint playthrough with one of us doing commentary, one of us playing through. So maybe for Day of Reckoning 2, maybe I'll do Day of Reckoning on the lunch stream, which I've been seemingly taking over, because that's a lot of fun to do on lunch break, like 2 or 3 times a week. So maybe I'll do Day of Reckoning, my own playthrough on Lunchtime Heat, and then maybe you and I will pick up Day of Reckoning 2 and go through that one together.
I like it. Let's do it. I would like to just be there while you experience them for the first time.
Yeah.
But all right. That's what we got going on at Patreon. Oh, and actually, Clash and Burn returned last week with a nice little treat for our Patreon users. A little late Halloween treat, I guess I could say.
Huh.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers. You have to sign up to find out. But
Yeah.
tell us about the streamer spotlight, because we're in a new month. We're in December now. How is the year almost over? I don't know.
How did that happen?
Tell us who we got this month.
Listen, guys, very happy to announce this one. The streamer spotlight for the month of December is our good friend, Dylan Postel.
Hey.
Twitch.tv/Dylan Postel. Somewhere he is sitting in a room just going, na 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 na, hey, na 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 na.
Can you explain that to me?
So it's a Simpsons reference where I think it's Marge asks Homer if he's paying attention, and they close in on Homer, and you hear Homer's inner monologue, and he's going, "Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na, hey."
But where did that, like, what does that have to do with Dylan?
When they did the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast live show from the wrestling universe in Long Beach, they were talking about something. They were talking about Star Wars, actually, and Dylan was somewhere else because he hates Star Wars. So he was just not paying attention, not listening.
And he came out with that shirt too.
Yeah, and Brian just goes, right now, Swoggle is just Homer from this. So they made a shirt, and I'm buying it. It's like the greatest shirt ever. I thought it was hilarious. But want to show some love to Swoggle. He's a friend of the show. Actually, as we are recording this, yesterday he did a Toys for Tots charity stream, and he was able to raise, I think, like $1,400 or $1,500 for Toys for Tots, and now he's going to go shopping and donate all those toys to Toys for Tots. And man, there's
that's so cool.
Gonna be a lot of Tuckers going to Toys for Tots this year. I'll say that.
No comment. But all right. Head on over to youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast today. Give us a little subscribe if you want to watch those Day of Reckoning playthroughs that we're talking about. If you want to watch, even Clash at the Feast is going. We have some GMP 64 still up there. That's not going anywhere. You can catch up before the inevitable Season 2, whenever that may be. But also, check out GameMarksPod.com/shop for gamer grips, guitar picks, and other Game Marks Podcast merch. But George, are you ready to talk about Gameboree 2021?
Oh, let's do it, baby.
People are probably sick of us even talking about it, but until January 1st hits, we are going to talk about it because it's for a good cause. Head on over to GameMarksPod.com/donate today, and every donor, your name gets thrown in a pot. You could win awesome prizes in the end. And today, as we are recording this, Secret Levels Podcast, our main sponsor this year, they added another prize. All you have to do is donate $1. It doesn't matter how much you donate, you are entered to automatically win at the end of Gameboree a $50 gift card to either Xbox Store, PlayStation Store, the Switch Store, Steam, your console of choosing. All you have to do is let them know what console if you win, and you get a $50 gift card. That is awesome. Thank you. They're not only just a good podcast, because I've been listening, I've been binging. They are really cool.
God.
Think of us, but any retro game.
It's literally so I started listening to them a while ago, and their podcast is literally our podcast when we run out of wrestling video games. And I was just like, well, this is going to be awkward.
Well, then
in like 2 years.
We joined them or something. I don't know. But
yeah, we become
awesome.
one superpower podcast.
Yeah. So thank you, Secret Levels Podcast. Go give them a follow, as well as our other sponsors, Markout Digital Card Game, Best Batch Promotions. Sorry, Sporky. And, the Run-In Podcast, another friend of the pod, good dudes. And that's Gameboree. Oh, so currently where we are at, as we are recording this, we are at $1,238, which is incredible. We have officially beat last year's numbers, and we're still going. We still have a full month. We have some dates penciled in for Game Marks Mania and the GMP 64 Super Show, so be on the lookout for that in the next week or two.
Listen, I'm going to make an announcement right now.
Oh.
Sunday, December 12th. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, because
it's next weekend.
The drum stream will be live from twitch.tv/GameMarksPod. I'll be posting a graphic sometime this week of all the rules, but pretty much how it's going to work is you can request a song for a donation. All that money that is raised during that stream goes right to our St. Jude's Fund. And you can request the song. If you want your song to be next, it might be a little more. And there's going to be some select songs that I really don't want to play.
You should just play Nickelback or something until they pick a song or something like really bad.
That's one of those songs.
Yeah.
That's one of those bands that if you want to play a song by them, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But more details to follow. But Sunday, December 12th, twitch.tv/GameMarksPod, the drum stream. George Feis ruins your favorite songs.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. And with that, is it time? Is it time to head over to some gaming news?
Oh, baby. Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at VGFgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
A reputable Battlefield leaker has revealed what happened to a big feature that was rumored to be in the new Battlefield 2042 game but didn't end up making it to the final version. At one point this year, there were reports that Battlefield 2042 was going to have a massive level of destruction that would, for example, allow players to completely take down skyscrapers and other massive buildings. According to the leaker, the feature ultimately ended up being too ambitious and was removed, though added to the hype of the game's release. While Battlefield 2042 released with missing features, performance issues, and design flaws, there was indeed substantial hype for it earlier in the year. Call of Duty 2022 hasn't officially been confirmed as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but according to almost every reliable Call of Duty leaker and insider, next year's COD is going to be a follow-up to 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was a reboot of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. In other words, the rumors are next year's Call of Duty will be a reboot of the Modern Warfare 2 from Infinity Ward, and from the little we've heard through the grapevine, this is accurate. None of this has been confirmed though, and as of right now, we still don't have any official information on the game, but when we do know, we will be the first to tell you, and that's all the gaming news we have this week. Check back next week.
I don't want it to be Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, I do. And
yeah, but do you want to know why I don't want it to be Modern Warfare 2?
Because you're going to buy it?
Because that means I have to buy it.
See, I started on Modern Warfare 2 when it originally came out.
That's Crash, man. Crash was the best map.
Absolutely, yeah. So you get that, plus you get the Modern Warfare that already came out only 2 years ago. Like, what else do you need? I don't need Vanguard. I don't need whatever the hell the other one was.
Yeah, Cold War.
Cold War, yeah. I don't need that either. But
if it's really this game, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger.
Yeah, especially for multiplayer. See, I like staggering the gaming news. Like this week was Battlefield and Call of Duty. Maybe next week will be like Switch stuff, like Mario stuff and whatnot. We got to give the people what they want. And I can't just talk about Call of Duty and Fortnite every week. But I do have to make a plug ski here because Cody Rhodes' podcast is back.
Whoa, that's a name drop.
Everything But Wrestling has returned. Go check it out. Go check it out everywhere you get your podcast. But for the real experience, head on over to YouTube. Search the Nightmare Family YouTube page. I worked pretty hard on this. And Rob Semzi of 343 Industries. Yes, the 343 Industries. He is the chief of staff over there. So it's the chief talking about the chief with Cody Rhodes. I enjoyed editing this. You're going to enjoy listening to this or watching this, so go check it out.
Man, that's awesome.
But all right, that's enough gaming news. It's time to spin the wheel for the mark out moment. What's up, Game Marks? Are you trying to look your best while repping your favorite video game podcast duo? We know just the place. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod to pick up your favorite GMP designs, including our various logo tees, Future Endeavor, the classic NES Pro Wrestling style tee, and of course, Mark the F Out. Order today and receive a phone call from us. You never know who will pop in. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod. Play it forever.
All right, so the mark out moment, usually reserved for a community spotlight, whether it be a fun comment or post on social media, a review. But we decided that during Gameboree, we will be putting all of the names of the people who have donated to Gameboree at GameMarksPod.com/donate into a wheel. And if we draw your name, you win a prize. John is the man in the control of the wheel. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
To spin that wheel, John.
You know what's great? The names like save in the wheel from last time, so I only have to add the new people and delete the winners. So we're good to go here.
All right.
And I'm going to press spin. Da-da-da-da, hey.
Hey.
The winner is, oh man, Mr. Photography himself, Justin Walsh.
Oh,
Justin
friend
Walsh,
of the show,
friend of the
Justin
pod.
Walsh.
He's the one who took those beautiful FWF2 pictures we've been posting around. You've seen every FWF superstar posting them around. And now
The voice of America the Beautiful for FWF Live.
And now he's going to get not only gaming grips, he's also going to get guitar picks. I'm going to send them his way. Congrats, Justin.
Hell yeah.
But oh boy, this is the part. Are you heading towards that diving board?
No,
Or are you
no.
you swinging
I haven't even.
swinging your hand towards your ear, listening to the crowd, hulking up? No.
It's time for the deep dive.
What's up, Marks? We are proud to announce our newest partnership with NordVPN.
Protect your privacy from prying eyes with military-grade encryption and NordVPN. Are you sick of getting targeted ads after looking up a product or talking about it once? Whether you want to maximize your streaming services, get better protection while working from home, or just want an added layer of security while browsing the internet, NordVPN is an easy and affordable way to protect access to your personal data.
Visit GameMarksPod.com/VPN to get more information and try NordVPN risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee.
Protect your information, reduce your digital footprint, and feel safer on the internet, all with NordVPN. All right, Hulk Hogan's main event released for the Xbox Connect, October 11th, 2011. Developed by Panic Button, published by Majesco Entertainment. Other games that are out this year. Ready for this lineup? TNA Impact Mobile, WWE All-Stars, WWE Superstar Slingshot for the mobile, and WWE 12. One of these things is not like the other.
It's
One
okay.
Of these
It's
things
okay.
just doesn't belong.
Actually, Slingshot was decently fun, I would say. Their spin on Angry Birds.
I was to say, the name sounds familiar.
It's pretty much Angry Birds, but you're shooting like Randy Orton at like barrels and stuff, not a bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember this.
But TNA Impact in the archives, WWE All-Stars in the archives with the Major Brothers themselves. What a lineup here for 2011. WWE 12, kind of the start of that new series of games, which only lasted 2 years between 12 and 13 before 2K took over. I was kind of excited for like the new branding. Like, okay, it's kind of like a sports game now. They're actually going to brand it per year instead of SmackDown versus Raw. We ended up getting 2K. We know how that ended up. We know how it's going to end up, but
How did it go? Just can you give me like a summary, like a brief summary of how that shelf life went?
Well, it sparked a pandemic to have 2K20 come out. Let's just say that. And let's talk about Hulk Hogan's main event. So,
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar, the Kinect is, how would you describe it? It's you don't necessarily have to wear anything. The camera hooks up to your Xbox, and
It's motion sensors.
it's like infrared motion sensor kind of thing. Like you'll see when you're like, they give you like a little preview window of like what it looks like when you're on screen. So like in that little window, you'll see like a black background and then like your silhouette moves.
You know what that reminded me of? I know at least our boy Tecker will appreciate this. Mystery Science Theater 3000. How you're just kind of like little shadows like cheering and stuff.
Yeah. And then that's that. If you're familiar with how the Kinect works and like motion controls, it's pretty much like the controls of like the Wii or, you know, the Oculus, if you're familiar with those. But without actually having to hold the controller. It's all camera based, it's all motion based. And I just,
well, let's say this. It was discontinued for the 360 in 2015 and for the Xbox One. Yes, it made it to the Xbox One in 2016, but also the PC. It came out in 2012. But as of 2017, when it kind of reached its end of shelf life, 35 million units of Xbox Kinect were sold, which is a lot.
yeah, I gotta tell you, I was never a big fan of like PlayStation Move.
No,
and
me neither.
like I said, I had a friend who had the Kinect, used it a couple times, got nothing but headaches, much like today.
Yeah, I have my friend.
Kinect is nothing but headaches.
I have my friend Andrew sitting right here in front of me right now, and this thing, I'm looking at it. It is a brick. It sits on the TV, and the way like my TV is situated, it has to sit under the TV, and it's kind of hanging off and falling off. But hey, it worked. We got it to work. But
I want you to know, if this was the console that we bought with pod money, and it wasn't that a friend let us borrow their console and Kinect, that Kinect would have been smashed immediately.
well, actually, hang on. Let's Xbox Kinect. Since we don't have a Did You Know for Kinect, on eBay they are around. One Kinect sensor bar, unopened, untested, $8. That's a bid. Generally, they're going for like $20.
Okay, so then no, I'm coming back
30,
over,
40.
and I'm gonna smash the shit out of this thing.
Yeah,
and I'll just buy
50.
your buddy a new one. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's worth it.
One with a game for 50. Yeah, they're kind of.
Yeah, I could smash that.
That's not bad.
Out of frustration, then just buy another one.
I'm not going to do that because I like him, but yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to do it, especially because he was super cool and like let us use his technology, which he didn't have to do at all. But yeah, it was very frustrating. We talked about it last week. The capture card, for some reason, works with the console, but as soon as you plug in the Kinect, it immediately just stops reading. So yeah, that was a whole big pile of headaches that we didn't need to deal with, and made recording a lot longer than it needed to be. But
as
hey,
usual,
you know what? We played the game, and that's really what we're here to do. So let's actually start talking about the game itself. So the game is announced May 27th of 2011. Now, at the time, Hogan is with TNA, and the game starts up. You make your custom character, and how do we want to talk about the character customization?
Well,
now
we'll come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that. But the first thing you actually see when you load up this game is the Impact Wrestling logo, which I thought was kind of nuts. That the only this was the issue with Impact back then. Like, they kind of just let Hogan do this. Their logo's small on the back of the game cover. Their logo's, sure, it's the first thing you see when you load up the game. It's nowhere on this game, which I guess in the long
run, you see it when you open it, and that's the last time.
But I guess like maybe they could have put an Impact Arena in here or something. But I guess in the long run,
thought that was going to be
off.
unlockable.
Yeah, in the long run, they're better off for not being associated with this game as much. But I will say it's kind of weird how their logo switched over. The TNA Impact mobile game is only a few months earlier, and it is the TNA branding, and then they switched over to Impact Wrestling, that blue and white logo, and that's what you get for Hulk Hogan's main event in October.
You ever have really high hopes for a game, but high hopes for a game that it's going to be like the bad good, where you're like, this game looks terrible, it plays terrible, but I actually had a lot of fun with it. Like, that's going into this. I was like, actually, you know what? This cover, we're going to talk about the cover in a little bit. Like, it's very inviting. Like, it looks cool. And like, you see the screenshots of the back, and you're like, all right, yeah, all right, I'm kind of in. Let's do this. So diving a little bit more into the gameplay here, Hogan, I don't even know how to say this without laughing. Throughout the game, in the tutorial, when you're first loading, Hulk Hogan just like pops up in a little window. It just like shows you what to do. Oh my God, I just realized what this is. This is Just Dance wrestling.
See, I never played that game, so I can't.
No, I've never played it either, but it's literally this game. Like, a little character silhouette shows you the move to do, and then you do it. And that's literally what Hulk Hogan does. He pops up in a little window, shows you the little action to do, little cartoon Hulk Hogan, and then you have to redo it.
I think the funny thing is when you load up and it has the box that shows the sensor and it shows your silhouette in the box. If there's something like on your desk in front of you, like we had stuff on the table in front of us, like a water bottle and all that, like it shows up in front of you and it kind of throws the whole game. You need a clear area to play this game, so it only picks you up, and then it's still barely going to work. But I was going to say that this sparked my memory that I was a big TNA guy back then, like especially 2011. I was at this Bound for Glory that was only 5 days after this game came out in Philly. There was a no mention almost ever on TV or in a commercial on the ring skirt. They had Toby Keith on the ring skirt, but they don't have their own Hulk Hogan's main event game that they sponsor. There was nothing anywhere about this game.
Huh.
Now, I get it. Hulk Hogan's like wrapped up in the Immortal, like it's coming to a close, the Immortal storyline with Sting. And yeah, I saw Sting and Hogan and Flair and all them at Bound for Glory. It was pretty awesome. But I guess because he was just wrapped up in all that, they just didn't bother. I don't know. I can't speak to that, I guess.
Yeah, that's... But that is interesting that there's no mention of this. I'm going to be honest with you. Until WCW Worldwide told us about this game, I think I heard about it once and completely erased it from my memory.
Yeah, I when I saw it was a Connect-only game, I kind of just tuned it out because I didn't own one of those, so I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Plus, you could see kind of, you know what it's going to be like.
And in this time in wrestling, I don't really think I'm watching. I think I'm getting the games because I just used to play them with my my roommate in college all the time.
Oh, I'm in at this point. I'm like
I don't think I'm watching.
I'm like 3 years back in. I'm watching TNA at least religiously. I'm watching Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm trying to think, is what year's the pipe bomb?
It's probably this year, I would think, because then CM Punk's on the cover of WWE 13.
Maybe this is the year, because that pipe bomb, like I come back like the month before the pipe bomb.
You come back? You made your return?
I made my return to wrestling. So the pipe bomb happens in June of 2011, and I think I watched Mania.
Okay.
That year. And I just like happened to be at a friend's house, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you stay? We're gonna watch Mania." And I think this was the year that I like started getting back into it.
All right, that's a good year to get back into it. I mean, if you're listening to
that's why I got back into it now.
Yeah, if you're listening to
I'm still into it.
MC True Long Island Story, you know all about 2011. Go check that out on the Major Pod Network if you haven't already. One of my top Spotify podcasts of the year.
Yeah, me too.
So
it's pretty much the whole network is my top Spotify.
And then I got Office Ladies and Welcome to the OC Bitches in there, which I stopped listening to, so I don't know how it peeked through. But we digress. The creator wrestler for this game is pretty much the main bread and butter of this, because that's your only option here. You have to create a wrestler. You choose the ethnicity, the body type, the face, the hairstyle, the tattoos, or you could actually just press random and it just mixes everything up and you could create your wrestler. And that's how you start every game. That's how you have to play the game. There's no real wrestlers in here. So we're going to read the roster right now. The roster is Hulk Hogan. Great. We're done with that. Let's talk about the campaign mode, George.
You forgot about was it Joe Bad or Joe? Who's the guy in the training?
I don't remember his name. I'm surprised there's not like Bubba the Love Sponge and all that. But I guess,
no.
yeah, after that whole thing. But
No.
he was on Impact back then. Hogan brought him to Impact, or like Jimmy Hart, maybe. You know, the typical Hogan people, the Nasty Boys. But anyway, the campaign mode, you work your way from backyard matches to the big stadium while keeping the crowd on their feet. So you start in this really dingy backyard arena, and I guess we call it an arena. For some reason,
Joe Bob.
For some reason, Hulk Hogan shows up at this backyard arena and is like, "Hey, brother, I'm gonna take you under my wing, and I'm gonna take you to WrestleMania, which isn't really WrestleMania because this is an Impact game, brother." And yeah, that's pretty much your story mode. It's very. I read one review that compared it to Punch Out, where it's just fight.
That's mean to Punch Out.
Fight. Yeah, you're just fighting one after another, and that's really it. So, campaign, I guess, while it is your main mode here because you're going to get the most out of it, it's head-to-head where you take turns with either a user or you can go online and play. And now the way this works is you have either 3, 5, 7, 9, or 11 moves per match, and you have to try to defeat your opponent within that limit of moves. So, it could go fast, it could go slow. Either way, it's not going to go well. I'll say that.
Yeah. I will. I want us to bring back something we haven't been able to do in a while.
Uh-oh.
Can we open this week's podcast? Hopefully you've already heard it if you're listening now. Can we play the commercial, or can we play the commercial right now?
I'll put it right here. How about that?
It's ridiculous.
All right, let's go.
Play Hulk Hogan's main event, and I'll teach you 50 bone-crushing moves, stunts, and takedowns. I won't stop until I transform you into the world's heavyweight champion.
We have a new champion, ladies and gentlemen!
Dinner's ready!
Get off the couch and rule the ring, brother. Hulk Hogan's main event on Connect for Xbox 360, rated T for teen.
So which one's better, that or Backyard Wrestling 2, do you think?
Well, I'm trying to think here. So at least
I'll go Backyard Wrestling.
way less brother in Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the game modes. You have Quick Stunt, where you could just practice. You have Hardcore, where you basically just go on the hardest setting. You have a Tutorial, which will be your best friend, like we say in every wrestling game. Don't skip the tutorials. You're going to need these.
Oh, God.
This was kind of cool. You could replay your highlights, like during your matches. You could save your highlights, which you see kind of with the share button today on PlayStation and Xbox. And you have Xbox Live leaderboards, which showcase the stunt of the day and the all-time best stunts from players and nationwide. I thought this was something cool around the 360 PS3 times, where you could actually upload stuff to the community and watch it back. My friend used to do this for PlayStation all the time with Skate, and I thought that was a lot of fun. And there was this, I always forget the name, that Asylum game, where you're going around in the dark.
Oh, Amnesia?
No. It is Outlast. That was a fun one to watch people's reactions to when they had the PlayStation camera on.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was hilarious. But it's cool to see it here, even though not the best game. I would like to go back and, like, if this was available now, I would like to go back and just watch them because I'm sure there's some good reactions. But
I feel like that was a big thing before, like, community uploads on the consoles was such like a big thing. Like, you brought up Skate. I remember that was like,
oh yeah,
such a big thing before, like, Twitch.
Watching the Bells, like you said with Dave Mira.
Yeah. That was like such a big thing before, like, not before because Twitch was around then and YouTube was around then, but like I remember that it was so easy to just like sit there and get lost and just like watching ridiculous things happen in Skate or whatever.
All right, but let's talk about the arenas that are included within this game, because you have the Backyard, the River Center, the Hard Luck Club, Joe's Gym, Sharps Arena, Crawford Stadium, Century Dome, Harlman Stadium, and the Gator Amphitheater. Now
I want to say this because they really, 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 really could have leaned into the whole like, welcome to Mercury Cube Garden. Like they really didn't seem to do anything like that. Where a lot of games, but Fire Pro does that. Has done that for so many years that's like their staple. That I feel like, it's not New Japan, they're View Japan wrestlers.
We went from that last week. We went from the week before to having licensed arenas to this.
But like, these are not trying really to be, and they're just like, they're big stadiums, they're big arenas. They're not referencing anything, and they're like kind of like their own thing. It's cool. It's
fine.
This was a plus for this game.
All right. But it's time that we talk about the artwork for this game, the front and back cover.
Oh, God.
All right. So Hulk Hogan's main event, the cover. What do you think of the Hulk Hogan's main event?
Bro.
You can't say bro. You have to say brother.
Brother. This is...
What do you think of the logo?
The logo, I got to say...
The kerning's a little...
Yeah. I mean, like graphic elements aside, the layout of it, it's cool. Yeah, it's okay.
It's good.
It's attention grabbing. It's red and yellow. That's what you need for a Hulk Hogan game.
Not enough red and yellow.
This render of Hogan, though,
it's okay.
Good Lord, I want that in the game.
It's better than Legends.
This is good. This looks like it's going to be like a SmackDown vs. Raw or a 2K game. Nothing in the game looks like this front cover. Nothing.
Actually looks like the Hulk Hogan statue that he has at Hogan's Beach Shop in Orlando. But anyway, what bothers me...
Could you imagine if you opened this game and the Hulk Hogan model was this detailed?
Yeah, okay.
Like how it is on the crowd, but on the cover?
Something's really bothering me right now that I look at it. The cover, they're in a boxing ring. There's
4 ropes.
4 ropes with the stupid thing in the middle. Look at the corner post.
4 ropes.
It's a boxing ring. That's not a wrestling ring. At first, I was like, oh, there's Japanese turnbuckle pads in the corner. And I'm like, wait, there's 4. Wait, there's that strap that connects them. What the hell?
That's a boxing ring.
How do you put Hulk Hogan's name? First of all, how do you put Hulk Hogan's main event without the Hulk Hogan font? The logo, the Hulkamania font. How do you do that? Then how do you... put a boxing ring? That just blew my mind. Anyway,
how did we not notice that sooner?
Because the bottom rope is red and kind of blends in with the crowd, and it's behind that sticker.
That's almost unforgivable.
Yeah. Regardless, Xbox 360, we're used to that cover, but this one has the purple for the Kinect and requires Kinect very big, which is good because you need it, and if you just buy this game without that, you can't play it. So you have the 2 created wrestlers on the front cover, and now on the back you have even more screenshots of your created wrestlers with chairs, with ladders, which is a pretty wild picture, with in these arenas that we just discussed, but Hulk Hogan doing his signature pose. It says, "Get pumped, Hulkamaniacs. Bring the pain in this action-packed, no-holds-barred wrestling experience that lets you throw down hard hits in your living room ring. Learn the ropes from the icon." Stings the icon. Relax. From icon Hulk Hogan himself as he schools you with jaw-dropping moves and signature taunts to knock out your opponent and get the crowd roaring for more. And there you have Hulk Hogan. Oh, let's type it in. HulkHogan'sMainEvent.com, right by that Impact logo.
We should go to ImpactWrestling.com. I wonder where that takes you.
Oh, so HulkHogan'sMainEvent.com takes you to Realty Investments, a Japanese website.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it takes you to Hogan's Beach Shop.
It should, right? It's like $10 for a domain. Come on. I guess with Hulk Hogan's name in it, it's a little more. Overall,
yeah,
pretty decent cover front to back, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we say this all the time whenever we talk about a wrestling game. If you look at a cover and you know that it's a wrestling game, they've done their job. And man, you look at this cover, you got Hulk Hogan clear as day on the front cover. Someone, I can't tell if that's just a really good punch or a clothesline on the front cover, or maybe you think it's a boxing game because it's in a boxing ring. But yeah, the back cover looks great. Obviously, screenshots of the gameplay. Hogan again doing that signature pose. Like, I'm going to say this. This is one of the few games that actually makes sense for Hulk Hogan to be the biggest person on the cover.
I think most of them do. But I got to also point out, I'm looking up Panic Button games right now. And did you know there's a Star Wars Connect that came out in 2012?
I did.
Okay. And Panic Button's also responsible for Recore, Rocket League, Apex Legends, Forza Horizon 4, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Wait, Panic Button does not make Rocket League.
The Xbox One and Switch ports.
In the about, in 2015, Panic Button began working on Psyonix. So we brought Rocket League to the Microsoft Xbox One. Huh.
To the Xbox and the Switch.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. So they are responsible for Star Wars Fallen Order on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and Apex Legends on the Switch. Crazy.
I guess this is just like a big. I guess I never really considered that. Is that like, if you're not like, you can be a game studio and your main form of business could just be conversions.
Yeah, it's just outsourcing at that point, probably for like EA and all that.
I always think like studios will go with like either like a subdivision, or like Rockstar will use like Rockstar North or something to do something like that. But
probably cheaper.
Yeah, it's probably just cheaper to go, hey, random game development company, show me what you've done. And yeah, we'll give you license to this huge game.
Yeah, why not? For our Patreon subscribers, in the notes, I've actually put a link to the game manual. So if you want to click that, you could see what was inside the game itself. But let's talk about the actual art style. Let's talk about the actual moves. Let's talk about how to play this game.
Big. Everything in this game is big.
Everything's big. It is kind of All-Stars-ish, the way that the wrestlers are
worse.
Yeah, oh, it's way worse, but exaggerated in that way. I think the menus, everything is very comic booky, where when you get to like the front cover and all that, it doesn't show that as much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you loaded up this game, and I mean, it's such a stark contrast between how the wrestlers look on the front cover to how they look in the game. Like,
the Hulk Hogan is atrocious looking.
He doesn't have top eyes. His eyes are half under his bandana.
Yeah, I don't know. But
he's got places. He's got muscles in places that most people don't have places.
He's got muscles in his crap.
I just don't understand the models, like the body mapping for these models.
Yeah, I don't really understand. But like we said, when you load it up, you see the Impact logo, you see the Panic Button logo, and then you get to the intro. You get to the little test of your Kinect system where it shows you the sensor screen display in the middle. But then it's time to create your wrestler, and it brings you to the Create a Wrestler screen where you only have those few categories, and you kind of get a bare bones Create a Wrestler here, but it's okay because you could just keep creating them every time you play this game. It's fine. But you have your player meters up in the top left and right where it shows your health bar, and you have kind of like little comic booky pop-ups every time you hit a move. It would be like solid, like a block, or there was a few other ones that I kept yelling out while we were playing this. That I can't think of them now, but they were pretty corny little sayings.
Yeah, you got so bad with that your wife actually yelled from the other room. That's what I felt bad, and I was like, maybe we should shut up.
But there's also a move icon on the bottom right of some screens when you're playing this that will show you the way your character is actually pulling off the move. So let's explain. If you want to give a body slam, you have to actually do the motion, which Hulk Hogan teaches you in the tutorial, for the body slam, where you're lifting nobody and throwing nobody at your TV screen. But the thing is, sometimes you could just be sitting there and your player will just pick the guy up and suplex him for no reason at all.
So this was the thing that I didn't understand. How come the little Hulk Hogan pop-up thing that shows you what motion to do happens in the bottom right hand of the screen.
Where would you like it to be?
I would think that you could put it like on the center bottom. That way you don't have to.
Center's a little weird.
Or maybe you move the score counter to the bottom.
Yes, that's
and
what I was
then you place it dead center up top. That way, like, because I don't know how you felt about this, but I felt every time that we were playing that like I really wasn't looking at the game itself when things were happening because I was too busy trying to watch Big Terry tell me what I was going to fucking have to do next here.
It is distracting, but at the same time, you are going back and forth, so it does kind of... You can go back and forth a little bit, but you're just not used to it.
Yeah, I felt like it was a much better experience watching you play because then I actually got to see like you know, I actually got to watch the match itself and like, you know, look at the crowd and look at, you know, the environment itself and not just be like, all right, what motion am I supposed to be doing now?
Yeah, it's a little weird. But there's also a video out there. I put it, again, in the notes here for our Patreon subscribers, but you can go to IGN and search for it. There's an E3 2011 video of Hulk Hogan being interviewed about this game. He's motioning that he has a controller in his hand, first of all. You could just straight up tell that he just threw his name on this game, and he has no idea what a Kinect is. He doesn't know what a sensor bar is. He's just going through the motions, promoting this game, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty.
Yeah. Also, in the interview, he didn't put his hairpiece in.
I was gonna say, the thing that stood out to me about I don't know. I guess I was gonna say the thing that I remember about this interview is that there's really not like a demo of someone playing. It's just kind of like on in the background, but I guess it could just be like a demo mode.
Yeah.
Like I would like to have seen like people playing.
Well, there's plenty of that elsewhere. I have a funny Hulk Hogan hair story I'll tell you off air about it that a TNA wrestler told me.
Patreon content?
Yeah. So it's safe to say that Hulk Hogan did not know anything about this game, but did you know? Did you know Hulk Hogan appears in 3 games in 2011? Hulk Hogan's Main Event, TNA Impact, and WWE All-Stars.
Did you know in 2013, Games Radar Plus ranked Hulk Hogan's Main Event as the 40th worst game ever made?
Did you know Hulk Hogan's Main Event is on eBay from around $5 to $20 used, $30 to $155 brand new, and the pre-order bonus shirt from $9.99 to $90?
Now, okay, hold on a second.
Lay it on me.
Hold the phone. I'm going to the Bay right now.
There's a bunch of them. There's some used ones. But let's talk. While you do that, I'm going to talk about the shirt itself because it's literally the only thing on the shirt is the Hulk Hogan's Main Event logo, and the Impact logo is very small on it.
Wait, hold on a second. There is a Hulk Hogan Main Event bandana.
Oh.
On the Bay for $40.
Now, what did that come with? Is that just someone made that, or?
I'll be honest with you. Someone may have just made this.
They might have just made it. Huh.
Of all the things to sublimate and print, I guess Main Event made a big impression.
Maybe it was one of those things that like steals our t-shirts and the Major Brothers t-shirts where they just like auto-generate.
I might buy this Main Event shirt.
Hey, if it's only like $10, sure, why not?
It's $10. I might buy it just to have it.
It's only the Main Event logo, the Kinect logo, the Impact logo, yeah, whatever.
And the Majeska.
Yeah. Not the best pre-order bonus, gotta say. I wonder what the price point of this game was when it came out. Do you think it was a full $50, $60 game?
I'm trying to think of, so like I'm so used to games being like $60, $70 now that like it's hard to think that there was a point where I was like $50, $40 is so expensive for a game. Oh, and then I'm like, okay, WWE, take my $70 every year. But yeah, I would imagine this is probably like $40 or $50.
Yeah, sometimes they had like the $30 bin. I'm
Yeah,
sure
well,
this didn't make
'cause
it.
I'm also thinking
far.
like maybe Kinect games were like a little bit cheaper
Maybe
because they weren't as
You
like
did-
mainstream and they weren't as AAA.
you did have to buy the actual sensor, so that's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, but this game stressed us out a bit. What do you say we sit back,
This is not the understatement.
we enjoy some R&R, some ratings and reviews.
I've been looking forward to this the whole day.
Metacritic gives this score a 26 out of 100. Game Informer, a 1 out of 10. Game Zone with a 1.5 out of 10. OXM UK with a 3 out of 10. That's generous. OXM US with a 2 out of 10. And Common Sense Media with a 2 out of 5 stars. Again, that is pretty generous. So Dan Reichert of Game Informer, who we've mentioned here before, said that Kinect has a hard time recognizing many required motions, and it's nowhere near fun even when it's working properly. We could definitely allude to that because that's what happened pretty much this entire playthrough. Dave Rudden of Official Xbox Magazine said that the career mode is a bore, the cartoony visual style is ugly, and the voice implementation is super sloppy. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes,
All right, John. So that was the ratings from the quote unquote professionals. But I think it's time for the most important rating, and that would be our rating because look down at your watch, John.
It is.
It's time to rate the games.
The game!
Hey. All right, John. Putting you in the hot seat.
All right.
Hulk Hogan's main event for the Kinect. Will you play it forever? Future endeavor
You're fired!
or secret third option 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Future
endeavor.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna pretend. I wasn't even gonna go for the play. Oh, just kidding. No, this is duty.
You're fired!
I want to say this. Asterisk. If they made this a dual release where or not even a dual release, they added Kinect functionality to a controller-based game, this game may have been different.
But would it? You'd still have.
You'd still have to
ugly
do the motions.
graphics.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, maybe if it was like, yeah, all right, yeah, no, I'm making a new game.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm making a whole new game.
Let's just let this
cut
one
all
die.
that out.
Let's just let this one die. I'm not cutting anything out.
Aww.
But all right, those are our ratings. They're kind of predicted. We kind of said from the beginning this game was crap. But let's talk about our weekly tournament. Clash at the Feast.
Let's talk about last week's. John, you want us to take us through Fire Pro Wrestling D?
Boy, do I. We started up the game. I picked Stone Cold Steve Austin or whatever his likeness counterpart was with the awesome music. You scared me here because you picked the great Muda, and who's actually under WCW in this game. And I thought, seeing it's a Japanese game, it's Muda.
You could play as NWO Muda.
Yeah, seeing
And I didn't, and I regret that.
And you took about 4 stunners. I think that's what put you away for round 1, going to me, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So the second match, I chose Dr. Death. George chose Vader in our rematch from, what was that, Wrestle Kingdom?
Wrestle Kingdom.
In a rematch in the Fire Pro world, where Vader wiped the floor with Dr. Death. It was chinlock after chinlock, recliner after recliner, and finally he got the tap out. Victory now. It comes down to all the marbles. We chose SWA rules, which we don't normally do. I think you were looking for cage fighting, and I was happy you didn't pick that.
I wanted cage fight
because I'm very bad at it, but I don't remember who we chose, but I chose a very lengthy kickboxer with a very big reach, and I was just punching you, kicking you, kneeing you in the head. You were busted open. I was busted open. And SWA rules. Georgie.
It was pretty good back and forth.
Georgie did not answer the 10 count for your winner of November. Johnny Clash, play my music.
Not everything's made to last. This is my life. This is my life.
I gotta say, I'm mad that I lost, but also so fucking happy that you beat me at a Fire Pro game, because that's only, if memory serves, the second time in Clash at the Feast that you've beat me in a Fire Pro game.
Is that a fact?
To take the win.
Is that a fact?
Yes, I think so. You have won matches. I think this is the second time that you've won to take the game, to take like that week.
Well, I won Super Fire Pro X. You won Iron Slam 96. You won Joshi. I won D. Hang on.
I really think that this is only the second time you've beaten
You won
to
Z.
take the tick, like the weekly tick.
You won. Oh, that one we did. World. You won that one. You won the Game Boy Advance one. You won Returns,
John,
of course.
Remember there was a point
I won.
you hated Fire Pro.
I won
and
Super
beat
Fire
you.
Pro.
Yeah, you won 2.
I won 3.
Oh, you won. Oh, so this was 3.
This was 3, and you won like 5.
Okay, so listen. It's bittersweet. I'm very sad to lose a month. But man, I like when this tournament is competitive, and I'm even happier that you beat me at a Fire Pro game. It's like I'm a proud parent right now.
And, well, when you start figuring these games out, like I said last week, it's a learning curve, and you start enjoying them. This is what happens.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We got a hell of a lot more Fire Pro in our future. Not only the remaining games, but for Game Marks Mania this year, I think we already decided we're going to be playing some Fire Pro Wrestling World.
I'm in.
All right, but I think it's time to let everybody know what we're playing next week on the podcast. What do you say, John?
Let's do it. We have something more up to date, I would say, next week.
Yeah, next week we will be playing, courtesy of Mega Mark Tecker, we will be playing WWE Immortals for the cell phone.
For the
on your mobile
cell phone.
device.
This is a game we've spoke about many times. It's very unique. It's very much just like Mortal Kombat, but you're WWE superstars. And we're going to go back and we're going to revisit it and we're going to do the deep dive.
Yeah, this is still something that is readily available, maybe not on your phone, but there are ways that you can emulate this game. It is one of the few cell phone games that is actually able to be emulated on a computer, so this is going to be a fun one. A lot of weird outfits to dissect in this one.
Yeah, it'll be...
this roster and graphic deep dive is going to be quite something next week.
Other than like the Brett episode and the Undertaker episode, this is going to be a first time for me.
Yeah, there's some wild stuff in this game, but all right, man. You ready?
I'm ready. Take us home.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks Podcast. Please check out all of our merchandise at GameMarksPod.com/shop and join us on Patreon, Patreon.com/GameMarksPod. The best way besides listening to support the podcast, and be sure to check us out on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to wherever a great podcast can be found. Now, guys, please do not forget Gameboree 2021 happening. All you got to do is go to GameMarksPod.com/donate. Any amount helps. We're raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and you have the opportunities to win some awesome prizes. Huge shout out again to all of our sponsors. John, it's time for you to do that thing that you do.
Game over, brother.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.